Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. But I wanted to just do this video about my anxiety. I've been asked a few times about my anxiety and how I deal with it, and then somebody did ask me to do a video on it discussing the types of anxiety I have, how I deal with it, and such. So, um, I do have social anxiety and I have OCD. And for years, I was medicated for a while, and then when I went to college, decided that I didn't want to take those medications anymore, and I had just stopped. Well, then certain things started coming back, and namely, my insomnia, and it was starting to cause a lot of problems, and I started turning to other ways of self-medicating myself, and for years, even after that, I did the same thing after I moved to Denver, and I wasn't really finding myself being able to connect with the community that I had thought that I should be in, which was the lesbian community. But at the same time, I couldn't deal with my anxiety and such, so I would get really, really drunk or do some drugs and to be able to go out and like be social and hang out with people. So I wasn't really paying attention to myself and my body and what was going on mentally. I just kind of suppressed a lot of things. And it had eventually got to the point where I started having seizures because my anxiety would get so bad. And after that happened, I had decided that I needed to be medicated again. And I went back to a doctor and I explained the situation to him, and um, he prescribed me with, I was on Celexa and then Xanax for emergencies, like as needed if something came up. And the thing with that combination is it kind of made me just numb. So now, I'm not doing as much ridiculous shit, but I'm still not able to like function properly. It wasn't a good medical medicine combination for me. Um, and then, some things just happened in my life that were pretty traumatic, and I began to just abuse those medications, the Xanax primarily, and I started drinking and stuff a lot again, and was still doing some drugs, not as many as I had been in the past, but definitely enough that it was causing issues. And the biggest thing that kind of came from all of that was I did develop severe mental issues because of the drug use previous to that, and then because I wasn't dealing with it, and then began abusing pharmaceuticals, and then putting some other things again on top of that, even though that wasn't as frequently, it was kind of like blocking my mind from being able to function. And I had moved out to Las Vegas, and at that point, like, I really was trying to get away from all that. Like 2 months before I moved to Vegas, I had started cleaning myself out from all that kind of stuff. I stopped doing any of the drugs. I still smoked marijuana on occasion, and I've usually had my medical marijuana license, so I am comfortable talking about that. And then I'll get to that in a minute, but um, I just kind of realized that these things weren't healthy for me. Well, because I had done that, my brain really couldn't handle that I kept doing this cold turkey and then just going right back onto stuff. So my mind kind of freaked out a little bit, and I started getting really, really sick. My anxiety at that point had gotten so bad that it wasn't just like social anxiety more like anymore. Like I was getting like generalized anxiety, and to a point that I couldn't eat anymore. I dropped down to about 115 pounds, and I'm 5'9", and right now I weigh almost 150 pounds. So 115 pounds is really tiny. I was really, really sick, and I finally went into the doctor, and I took all my previous medication and history, and I just went in there and I'm like, here's my situation, and I laid them all out, and I said, I don't want to be on Xanax again. I have a history of abusing it. I also don't like the way that it makes me feel. I didn't like being on the Celexa, and the doctor that had prescribed me on that prescribed it to me at a dosage that was good for an antidepressant, and I wasn't depressed, and I think that's why it was numbing me. I think I was on too strong of a dose of it, and I explained all these things to him. I was honest to the doctor about the drugs that I had done in the past and the frequency that I had done them. And I told him I only wanted to be on one medication, and really I just need to get my anxiety under control. Because if my anxiety is under control, I am able to cope with my OCD, and then I don't have insomnia. I'm able to sleep. And, I wouldn't have insomnia regularly. It's my anxiety that triggers it. And I don't want to be on anything for my OCD. I think that it's something that I can manage myself. I just wanted my brain chemistry to be at a level that I was able to deal with my own issues. I don't want to be numbed to things. I think that we're all supposed to experience emotions and stuff like that. And I wanted to just be able to handle what was going on in my mind and deal with it like the average person, instead of just being packed full of medications and numb to it because it wasn't working for me. It just made me turn to other things that weren't healthy and made things worse. So this doctor had put me on Remeron, the generic name is mirtazapine, and I have been on that since. So that is going on almost 2 years now. No, like a year and a half that I've been on the mirtazapine, and I am on a pretty high dosage of it. He prescribed it to me to work as a mood stabilizer, and it also has a component in it that helps you eat. Because of my anxiety, I did develop a lot of digestive issues, and I have inflammatory bowel syndrome. I've had ulcers in the past. I'm pretty sure that at least one of them isn't completely healed, and my acid reflux has been getting just increasingly worse. So I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday for several things, including getting my new prescription for my next vial of testosterone, and I want to make sure that I talk to my doctor about that, because I don't want to have issues eating. It really sucks. Yeah, I guess that's really kind of about it. Since I've been on this, I have been able to put on weight, and then, starting testosterone has definitely helped with that as well. I do know that it's really hard for me to, I work out and stuff, and I'm trying to, really build muscle, but, I'm definitely changing. I'm sure you guys can tell, but I feel like, it could be better, but I just don't eat enough. I know that I don't eat enough for, a bulking kind of diet, and it's because I physically can't. But it is getting a little bit better. With my acid reflux recently, it's been really, really hard for me to, eat things, because it just kind of makes me feel sick, and it just hurts so bad. So I'm hoping that I can kind of get that under control, but I also, I do have my medical marijuana license. I have it for chronic pain because of my shoulder and back problems from the Navy, as well as a few other things. But I do notice that it does help me a lot with my anxiety. I'm not recommending that anyone does that or goes out there and, starts smoking weed and stuff. I'm just being honest and open with you guys about how that is, because I feel like if I tell you I'm on these medications and this is really, really helping me, and I don't inform you that I also do this, then you're not really getting the whole picture. And I'm not saying that it's some kind of magical combination. It is something that works for me, and I'm lucky enough to live in a state where I have that option. Yeah, I just, I want to be as just open and honest with you guys about it. I had a really hard time dealing with my anxiety for a long time, and I just didn't know how to control it. And, when it gets to the point that you're having seizures, it's definitely a problem. And, in the past, I just didn't realize how much self-medicating was actually harming my brain, and you know, now I know a lot better, and I've knocked all that dumb shit off. So I don't recommend doing those kinds of things. If you do have a drug problem or you consider yourself an addict, you know, just try and remain positive and just keep moving forward, and feel free to hit me up if you need to talk about it or anything. I'm definitely willing to lend an ear and give advice where I think that I can give it, because you know it was really really hard for me, and I don't think that it needed to be. It could have been a lot easier, and I made it hard on myself. So if I can help other people avoid those mistakes, I think that that would be great. So that's kind of my little spiel on my anxiety situation, how I've coped up with it in the past, how I'm doing now. And, you know, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I think that transition has helped me become more level-headed because I'm just more confident and comfortable with myself. So I think that because I'm more comfortable with myself, it does make it easier for me to deal with my anxiety. I didn't realize how much that was actually holding me back in the past until after the fact. You know, I don't think that testosterone's changed me mentally. I think that mentally I've just grown up and I've just changed as anybody else would change. I just think that it's helped me be able to calm my mind, as well as being on my medication. I think that's about it. If you need any other details or you have any other questions, feel free to message me. All my links and stuff are on my page. Find me on Facebook, Instagram. I have a Kick. It's Mile High Lupe. My Tumblr and stuff. It should all be on there. So find me, message me. You know, on Tumblr you're able to do it anonymously, so if you don't want me to know who you are, that's fine. If you want me to know who you are, that's great too. Your conversation is confidential, and that stays with me. I don't talk about that kind of stuff with anybody else. I barely even open up about my own issues with other people. Oh, I don't go to therapy. I should express that. I found that me dealing with therapists just wasn't working out the way that I had wanted it to. They didn't seem to like listen to me. I am looking for a therapist now, and I'm being rather picky about it, which is why I have chosen not to start therapy yet, because I just haven't found someone that I am comfortable with. My history with therapists hasn't been the most positive, and they like to drug you up. So my situation was originally discussed with mental health professionals, but my medication is dealt with my primary care doctor. I know that I'm probably going to have to switch that because I just got a new primary care doctor, which is another reason I'm looking for a therapist, but now I also have mental health coverage. So I am looking for a therapist, but for the most part, since my freshman year of college, I have not seen a therapist. I have dealt with these kinds of things on my own. I don't really recommend that. It is really difficult, and you know, if you feel like you can't seem to like grasp at like some kind of stable base or something, it's because you're having a hard time. And I think therapy could have helped me in those situations, but I couldn't afford it. And you know, but I definitely can say that, you know, if you're in a situation where you can't afford mental health coverage or anything as well, it is possible for you to get through it on your own. Just know that it's going to take more time, and just don't get discouraged. Like, I mean, there was days I just didn't care. I didn't want to wake up. Or not so much that I didn't want to wake up, I didn't care if I woke up. You know, I'd let people just feed me whatever. I'd be a fucking guinea pig. Like, how old is this? Let's see if it works. And it was fucking stupid. I mean, I don't regret things that I've done. I think I've learned a lot from it. But, you know, I'm happy and lucky to be here and alive today, and I couldn't be more grateful for it. So I apologize this video got significantly longer than most of my videos, but it is something that is important to me and to my life, and I've been asked about it a lot. So I know that sometimes I miss people's messages and things like that. I'm really bad